So my dad killed my mom's dad, and the reason for it is because my mom's dad was like super jealous or some crazy stuff was happening with him. He was like all on drugs and stuff. So he like tried to break into their house, and my dad like blasted him. And then like I came into the story, and everything was chill like for a second, but then like drugs started coming into the picture like deep, to where like it was all about drugs, and if they didn't have it, then it was all bad. And I remember like getting beat like for no reason. So like, and then I remember like my mom getting beat like all the time. So where I would just like start breaking things. So when he came home, he'd see something broken, and like I'd be like sitting next to it, and then he'd like beat me. So like after like 20 times of like getting beat and my mom getting in the car, everything packed and about to leave, he'd always be like, "I'm never gonna do it again," and she'd be like, "I love him." So she'd go back until like finally like my sister and me and her like finally got into the car and left. And like my sister went to stay with my grandma, but I stayed with her. Or I think that we both got taken for a second, like, and I was in school, and I think my mom like came and took me out of school and like just like kidnapped me. And then like we were living in a car for a while with this guy she met, and like he turned out to be just as worse, if not worse, you know. And so finally like she got herself together, not together, but like I'm tired of getting beat, and we went to live with my grandma. And then like this whole time I didn't like see my dad. I think he came like for one Christmas, and like no letters, no nothing. And like I got out of prison like my last time, and I was with this girl that had a kid, and I was like, it was random, I was like, I'm gonna go find my dad. And she was like, alright. And I was like, alright. So I found him like one day, and I got his address and everything. Called him, and I was like, hey. And he's like, hi. And I'm like, do you know who this is? And he's like, no. And I was like, this is your son. Like, this is your one and only right here talking to you. You know, like, aren't you surprised to hear from me? And he's like, really? And then, so he's like, come out, like, and say hi, you know? And I was gonna kill him, right? I was gonna kill this dude. And I was like, come on, drive me out. And she had a kid, so she, like, had to take the kid with her. It was weird. So, like, we're driving out there, and I was like, alright, you guys, stay right here. And, like, I went to, like, meet him, and he came out with, like, these crutch arm things, like, I was like, oh, dude is jacked up. Like, dude's all jacked up. And I was like, nah, like, I got another plan for this. Like, so I was like, hold on. And I went and got my lady at the time with the kid. And I was like, look, you're my wife. And, like, this is my son. And, like, just stick to the scene, right? And she's like, alright. So we go and we're talking. And he's like, how you been? I'm like, not too good, you know? I was like, not too good. My life sucks, you know? Like, of course you don't know that because you weren't around at all, right? And I was like, this is your grandson. You don't even know him, right? I was like digging on him, like, and he's like, but anyway, like, we ended up leaving. And that night he killed himself. He overdosed. And yeah, it was intense. It was intense because like I cried, even though like all the jacked up stuff he did, like I ended up crying. You can turn it off.